So my dear students, warm welcome in our third section of chapter Stats, presentation of data. As soon as the work related to collection of data is over, the investigator or the person has to find out ways to present them in a form which is meaningful, easily understood and gives its main features at a glance. This type of an arrangement is called presentation of data. Now, the raw data can be arranged as in the form of serial order or alphabetical order, in ascending order, or we can say in descending order. Now let us recall the various ways of presenting the data through some examples. Moving to our example number 1, consider the marks obtained by 8 students in an English test as given below. There are total 8 students in a class who got different marks in English test like 25, 40, 33, 66, 32, 22, 49 and 51. So what's the solution of this, or how we can present this data? Let's see. Firstly, what we have to do? We have to arrange the marks from lowest marks to highest marks, or we can say we have to arrange the marks in an ascending order like this. So here we can say the lowest marks for any student is 22 and highest marks is 66. Therefore, highest value equals to 66 and lowest value equals to 22. So we can say range equals to highest value minus lowest value. What is range? Range is nothing but the difference between the maximum value and the minimum value given in the series. So here we have the value of highest value is 66 and the lowest value is 22. So finally we can say the range would be 44 for the given series. Moving to our next problem, this is another way to represent the data or to present the data. The presentation of data can be further categorized into class groups, or we can say class intervals. As students, in the previous example, what we have given, it was in the form of ungrouped data. But in this example, we have given the data in the form of grouped data. Like 1 to 10 is a group, 11 to 20 is another group, 21 to 30 is a different group, 31 to 40 and 41 to 50. And these are the groups which are known as class intervals. Now here we have number of students for 1 to 10 is 3, for 11 to 25, for 21 to 32, for 31 to 45, for 41 to 57. Number of students also known as frequency. Frequency is nothing but the number of times it occurred. That is, we can say from this graph that there are total 3 students who got scores between 1 to 10. There are total 5 students who got scores between 11 to 20. There are total 2 students who got scores between 21 to 30. There are total 5 students who got scores between 31 to 40. And at last there are total 7 students who got scores between 41 to 50. So finally we can say this is an example of group frequency distribution. Now students, what is frequency distribution? Frequency distribution, or we can say frequency table, is a method to present raw data in the form from which one can easily understand the information contained in the raw data. To better understand this concept, we must take the help of example. So without wasting a second, let's move on to example. For example, given below are the ages of 16 students of a particular locality. Prepare a frequency distribution. Now students, here we have to make a frequency distribution table for 16 students whose ages we have given. So let's see what is the solution of this problem is, or how we will going to draw frequency distribution table. Now we have given the ages of 16 students, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 5, 2, 3, 3. Now this is the final table which we have to make. But the question is here, how we made this table. So students, let's see. We now look at the first value in the given raw data, that is 2, and put a bar vertical line in the second column opposite to it. Now we see the second value in the given raw data and put a bar opposite to it, that is 3. So we put 3 over here and put a vertical bar over here. This process is repeated till all observations in the given raw data are exhausted. That is, we apply the similar process for 4 and for 5. 2 counting blocks of 5 are prepared and some space is left in between each block. We finally count the number of bars corresponding to each value of the variable and place it in the third column of frequency. For example, there are total 4 vertical bars. So we put 4 over here in the column of frequency. That here we have 3. But If we count 3 from this given series, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 3 occurred 5 times. So first we put the vertical bar up to 5. So let's see how we will going to prepare frequency distribution table for the given series of ages of 16 students. This is the final table which we have to prepare. We have given ages. Firstly, we draw the 3 columns with respective rows. That is the first column of age, second of telemarks, and third is frequency. Now students, listen carefully what we have to do. Take each item from the data. That here we have see there are total numbers, that is 2, 3, 4 and 5. But it depends how many times it occurred in this series. For example, 2, that is first, second, third and fourth. So there are total 4 times 2 occurred in this series. So what we will do, we just put 4 in the column of frequency. 3 similarly with 3, 4 and 5. But before that, take each item from the data one at a time and put a tally mark against the class to which the item belongs. If tally marks are more than 4, then record them in the bunches of 5. The fifth one is marked by crossing diagonally the first 4. For example, in the row of 3. Now by counting, determine the total number of tally marks in each class, which gives us the frequency of the class. Check that the total of all frequencies is same as the total number of observations. Give a suitable title to the frequency table so that it conveys exactly what the table is all about. For example, we have seen from this series 2. It occurs 4 times. So here we write 4. 3. In the given series, we have 5 times 3. So what we did, we put vertical bar 4 times and the fifth bar crossing diagonally the first floor. So it become a bunches of 5. So here we write 5. Similarly with the 4 and 5. When we add all these frequencies, it comes to be 16. And as we have given in the question, there are total 16 students. So it means our frequency table is correct. Finally, we can say frequency distribution of ages of 16 students. I think students, one example is not enough, so we will move to a next example. Let's say the marks obtained by 19 students of class 9 in an examination are given below. Present the data in the form of a frequency distribution using the same class size, one such class being 15 to 20, where 20 is not included at all. Here what we have given? Here we have given the marks of 19 students of class 9. And we have to prepare the frequency distribution table with the help of the given data. So let's proceed to our solution. We have given this data, or we can say we have given the marks of 19 students of class, or we can say we have given the marks of 19 students of class 9. Now from this data we can say the minimum and maximum marks in the given raw data are 1 and 20, right? In the question we have told that we have to make the class interval of equal size. In the question we have given that we have to make the class interval of 5. And always remember, the class interval will always remember, my dear students, the class interval of the class size of all class intervals remains same. So first class interval for this given, so the first class interval for this entire data would be 0 to 5. Second, 5 to 10. Third one is 10 to 15. Fourth one is 15 to 20. And fifth one is 20 to 25. Here we have taken the class size of 5 because we have given in the question. With the help of these class intervals, we can easily prepare the frequency distribution table. Now students, from this table or from this frequency distribution, we can conclude that there were total 4 students who got marks between 0 to 5. There were total 4 students who got marks between 5 to 10. Similarly, there were total 4 students who got marks there were total 4 students who got marks between 0 to 5. Similarly, there were total 4 students who got marks between 5 to 10. Again, there were total 5 students who got marks between 10 to 15. Again, there were only 5 students who got marks between 15 to 20. And there was only 1 student who got marks between 20 to 25. So, addition of frequencies is 19. So, we can say our frequency distribution table is 100% correct. So this is a frequency distribution of marks of 19 students. Moving to our next and different example, let us now consider the following frequency distribution table which gives the weight of 38 students of a class. This is the table where we have given weights in kg and number of students. There are a total 38 students. In this table we can easily see the lower limit and the upper limit of the class intervals are not same. Here we can say the upper limit of the first class interval and the lower limit of the next immediate class interval is not same. That is 31 to 35 and 36 to 40. So if two new students of weight 35, before going to make the new frequency distribution table for the students, we have to find out some things. Like, now if two new students of weight 35.5 kg and 40.5 kg are admitted in this class, then in which interval will we include them? We cannot add them in the ones ending with 35 or 40, nor to the following ones. This is because there are gaps in between the upper and lower limits of two consecutive classes. So we need to divide the intervals so that the upper and lower limits of consecutive intervals are the same. For this, we find the difference between the upper limit of a class and the lower limit of its succeeding class. We then add half of this difference to each of the upper limit and subtract the same from each of the lower limit. Like this. Consider the classes, that is 31 to 35 and 36 to 40. The lower limit of the first class interval is 36 and the upper limit of the second class interval is 35. Here we have find the difference, that is 1 from 36 minus 35. Now half the difference of 1, that is 0.5. Now we simply subtract this value from the lower limit of the class interval and add the we simply subtract this value from the lower limit of the class interval and add to the upper limit of the class interval, like this. So finally 31 to 35 comes to be 30.5 to 35.5 by subtracting 0.5 from 31 and by adding 0.5 from 35. Similarly with the next class interval, same procedure we will going to apply with each and every class interval, and it finally comes to be like 30.5 to 35.5, 35.5 to 40.5 to 70.5 to 75.5. Now students, it is possible for us to include the weights of the new students in these classes, but another problem crops up because 35.5 appears in both the classes now. It is possible for us to include the weights of the new students in these classes, as we found out some problems in the previous table. But another problem crops up, that is 35.5 appears in both the classes, that is 30.5 to 35.5 and 35.5 to 40.5. In which class do you think this weight should be considered? If it is considered in both the classes, then it will be counted twice. So by convention, we can consider 35.5 in the class 35.5 to the 40.5, but not in the 30.5 to 35.5. Similarly, 40.5 is considered in 40.5 to 45.5, but not in 35.2 to 40.5. So the new weights 35.5 kg and 40.5 kg would be included in. So the new weights 35.5 kg and 40.5 kg would be included in 35.5 to 40.5 and 40.5 to 45.5 respectively. Now with these assumptions, the new frequency distribution table will be like this. Moving to our next problem. Following data of daily wages in rupees received by 30 laborers in a certain factory. Construct a group frequency distribution table by dividing the range into class intervals of equal width, each corresponding to 2 rupees, in such a way that the mid value of the first class interval correspond to 12 rupees. We have given the data 14 to 23. Now here we have minimum daily wage from the series is rupees 11 and maximum daily wage from this series we have 24. Range would be like maximum minus minimum, that is 13. Now here we have given in the question that the size of class interval must be rupees 2 and number of class intervals would be like 7. How it comes? It comes through range divided by class size, that is equal to 13 by 2. Here we have range equals to 13 and class size is 2. So it comes to be 6.5. So we can take the approx value 7. So there are total 7 class intervals with class size 2. Before going to make the frequency distribution table, we have to find out the lower limit and upper limit of the class intervals. Lower limit of first class interval equals to 12 minus 2 divided by 2 equals to 11. Why? Because here we have given in the question that mid value of first class interval is 12 and size of the class interval we have given 2. So lower limit would be 12 minus 2 divided by 2 equals to 11, and upper limit of first class interval equals to 12 plus 2 divided by 2 equals to 13. So we can say the first class interval would be 11 to 13. Similarly, the next class intervals would be like 11 to 13, 13 to 15, 15 to 17, 17 to 19, 19 to 21, 21 to 23 and 23 to 25. Now with the help of all these data, we can easily make our frequency distribution table. So with the help of this table, we can say there were total 3 number of laborers who got daily wages between 11 to 13 rupees. There were total 4 laborers who got wages between rupees 13 to 15. 5 laborers got 15 to 17 rupees. 5 laborers got between rupees 15 to 17. 7 laborers got rupees between 17 to 19. 5 laborers got between 19 to 21 rupees and 4 laborers got between 21 to 23 rupees, and finally 3 laborers got 23 to 25 rupees. So at last we can say we add all these frequencies, it comes to be 30, and we were talking about 30 laborers. That is 30 laborers equal to total number of frequencies 30. It means that from this table we can say we have made correct frequency distribution table. Thank you students. Let's meet in our fourth section where we are going to study about graphical representation of data. Thank you.